Sir, sir, sir.
Huh?
ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಸರ್?
Oh, sorry. I was just deciding which gun should I shoot with today.
You can pick anyone, sir. All of them looks the same.
Best to the untrained eyes, my boy. Come closer. This is Allotech Expert. This is anatomic. This is probably only one gun being used in India right now. This is Walther Target Sprint. This, on the other hand, is an Allotech competition. And this is monotech.
Okay, so what's the difference?
The difference is in the styling, the weight, and functionality in terms of settings and customization. The beauty of Walther is all these are LG400, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there is one more, Black Tech, which we are not having here right now. But the structure is different. So we can select any of these guns for individual body type of the shooter.
Okay, so what body types does these guns suit for?
Nice question. Let me answer. If you see an expert, this is good for lean yet strong people. This is anatomic, which is generally good for kids as well as girls. This is target sprint. This is the least weight amongst these guns, and this is recommended for kids, but this is not available in India. The only thing that is available is Blue Tech and Black Tech. So those are good for kids. Next, we have the Allotech Competition, which is the same version of this, but little bit of settings, and the butt plate and palm plate is slightly different, which is less customizable as compared to an expert. So this is slightly budget friendly from the expert version. And then the monotech. And this is for the big boys and the strong girls.
Okay, but why do you like Walther so much?
Walters, because James Bond. Jokes apart, these guns are pinnacle of precision and amazing levels of customization that we can do on these guns. Plus, they are very friendly to customize when it comes to coaches with lesser knowledge or shooters who are using themselves.
Okay, can you please now take me through the technical aspects of the weapon?
I can do that. So let me take apart this gun and get going. Let me start with the cylinder. This is a 300 bar cylinder. Most of the rifles you get in the market are 200 bar cylinders. Only Walther has a 300 bar cylinder. Okay, so let's start fixing that. So this 300 bar cylinder means more number of shots, but ideally you would never want to fill entire 300 bar of air in it. Operating pressure during the matches, you look at anything from 190 or rather 200 to 180 at the start of your match, and that should be sufficient to take you through entire match with top performance. Okay, you know, Lothar Walther is the manufacturer of these barrels, and it is the most sought after barrels for precision worldwide. And this, what you see on top, is not the barrel but the carbon fiber sleeve, okay, which goes over the barrel, which is only about 30 centimeter long. The rest of it is just the sleeve, and this is the extended sleeve on which the front sight sits. So next, this is the engine, and this is where majority of the magic happens. This is the regulator. A regulator is required because we don't want the entire 200 or 300 bar air in the cylinder to get into the system and push the pellet out. We want it very controlled amount of air. Okay, so what this regulator does is, irrespective of what air quantity you have in cylinder, it allows approximately 75 bar to get in through the housing. Because there is only 75 bar of air consistently coming inside the barrel, now the spring which holds the firing pin and the valve spring operates at the same pressure every single time, because the spring has the same tension irrespective of how many times you use it. And because of that, every time the firing pin strikes the valve pin, the same amount of air gets out from the housing and pushes the pellet out, and that's where you get amazing accuracy. The special thing about Walther regulators is it is customizable, for the pellet you are using.
How can you customize a regulator depending on what pellet you're using?
Good question again. Because you use heavy pellets, sometimes you use lighter pellets. If you're using heavier or lighter pellets, you can customize the regulator to deliver slightly higher or lower air consistently so that you have an amazing accuracy with that particular pellet.
Now, the whole thing looks a little complicated, but what's your take on it?
Okay, so this has an amazing absorber technology. If you can see here, there's an absorber, which is a heavy piece of metal which is touching the air release from inside with a spring. Every time when we load the pellet and fire it, because the air pushes the pellet out, the vibration sets the spring off and the absorber comes back instantaneously, thereby reducing recoil. So that's why we need that. Okay, to accommodate that, we have a loading lever which comes in three different pieces. Next, when you look at the trigger, see, it's so easy to access sear here. And then this is the trigger unit. This is customizable in multiple ways. You can move it left or right, front and back, angle it, and then up and down as well. When it comes to trigger, we have the first stage setting, second stage setting for the weight and travel. Next, we have the let off point, which can be set to be very crisp and on the dot.
So, what sets Walther rifles apart from the other ones that are in the market?
Good. So the best part about Walther is the sheer amount of settings we can do on these guns, plus the amount of accessories that are available for these guns. Market is filled with so many manufacturers of accessories for Walther. You'll be dumbfounded to just see the sheer number of manufacturers, and which is not available for other weapons. The best part about Walther guns is you can buy butt plate from someone, cheek piece from someone, sights from someone, weights from someone, palm plate from somebody else, and all fit them all along and deliver still fantastic results. Walthers have achieved some significant results in the international circuit. So most of the guns you'd see, each one of these being used at World Cup, Olympics, every single circuit at international level, and all of them perform top notch. And you see some top shooters using these guns and shooting with them. And especially in India, if you see, most of the top shooters are using Walther today. Another point to note is a lot of top coaches in India and abroad prefer Walther over other weapons, maybe because of settings or the ease at which it can be accessorized.
I've seen people use LG400 Alitech and Monotech a lot of times in competitions, but what makes them stand apart?
Okay, it is the customization and ease of customization. This was an earlier model and this was a later model. This was designed after the successful KK500. If you by just looking at the stock, you can tell this was inspired by the KK500 model, which is a .22 rifle. Okay, the best part about this is, see, the buttstock is much smaller and tapered, and the settings on the butt plate is very easy and very accessible, and for people who have a lot of difference from their shoulder to the cheek, the gap, which is very long, can be easily adjusted with this butt plate. Whereas for this butt plate to go drop to a very lower level, we need to buy another extender, butt plate extender.
But why should I choose Walther?
You should choose Walther because you have amazing precision, you have amazing customization possibilities, you have parts availability and service availability throughout India.
Okay, I'm convinced, but with so many models to choose, how do I decide?
Good. Simple. Try it out. Second, budget. Third, depends on your coach. 99% of the time, coach decides which model to advise or recommend to you. So listen to your coaches because they know what settings are required and what body type is yours. So they will make a recommendation. If you are on your own, you can always try all the weapons, see the weight differences, because performance-wise, everything is going to be the same. What is going to change is the level of customization, ease of customization, and what suits your body type.
So which one would you go for?
Why should I choose when all are mine? To spread the joy of shooting, always ensure you're following the safety rules. Always point the gun in the safe direction. Second, treat the gun as always loaded. 3, use safety flag wherever it's necessary and even if it's not necessary. Happy shooting.